Hey, Shalom Israel, Yahweh Shem Yahshai Barakatam. Hey, I'm the soldier Yahweh. Just really quick, I know we just came out of this so-called Black History Month. So I just want to do a little recap of not Black history, but Negro history. We're going to get into that. And you might be asking me, hey, what's the difference between Black history and Negro history? Well, I'm about to break that down for you and let you fully understand. I'm going to take you on a journey. I just need you to keep up and follow me to the children. One of my favorite quotes is by Malcolm X. He said, why would you allow your enemies to teach your children? All right, that's one of my favorite quotes. And so, first of all, Sons of Thunder is a Bible school, right? We are here to learn the word. We are here to equip ourselves and to be able to pass this knowledge on with our family members, to be able to teach again our children and let them know first and foremost that we serve the one true living power, right? And to get our people to come up out this fake false religion of Christianity. Okay, so if you want to go ahead and grab your Bible, you can grab your Bible, you can grab your 1611 King James, grab your Apocrypha, grab a concordance if you've got one. Also grab a pen, paper, a pad, take notes. Okay. All right. So first of all, Negro history. Our history don't start at 1619. It don't start when the first so-called African Americans was brought over here to serve in chattel slavery. That's not the beginning of our history. We came from somewhere. We came from a people. We are descendants of a people, right? A descendants of a people that's been kept from us. Our history have been kept from us. And if anybody has seen the movie Roots, if you remember when Kunta was up on that pole and the overseer was whipping him to get him to, say what his name was. And they was trying to get him to say his name was Toby. But Kunta didn't want to, give up that name. He was like, nah, I ain't Toby, I'm Kunta. And the overseer just kept smacking him with that whip. Say your name, say your name. Your name is Toby. So since we got over here into this country, our names were stripped from us. Our culture was stripped from us. Everything about us was taken, right? And it was a reason that was done, right? It was a purpose that was done, right? And the reason, the purpose that it was done is so that we would forget who we are, where we came from, so that we would forget our traditions, our customs, right? So that we would stray away from our heritage, because we are dealing with some crafty counsel. We are up against crafty people. We are up against a base man, a lying man that has been upset and angry over the fact that he lost his birthright. At the end of the day, that's what it boils down to. He lost his birthright. Yo, I just finished watching the movie. What's that? It's an old school movie. Got that Edomite Gene Hackman in it. Mississippi Burning. I just finished watching Mississippi Burning, and in that it's this one scene where one Edomite, he looks at Gene Hackman's character and he said, why is there so much hate? Why do they have so much hate? And the reason why there's so much hate, why they hate us so much, is because they lost their birthright. We got the birthright, and they're angry at that. They're upset about that. If you realize, no nation likes us because of the blessing that is on us. That's why every nation has had their hand in keeping a part of Negro history. What we are going to deal with is a book written by a man named Olaudah. Right? Olaudah was a slave that was captured in the western part of Africa, in the west coast of Africa, He was brought over here to the Americas and sold as a slave with his sister. Okay, Olaudah ended up getting his freedom, and he wrote a book. I'm going to share that book with you. And I encourage everybody to go get the book and read the book. Get the book and read it. Alright. So, this is the book. Is written by Olaudah Equiano. Right? And you can see the name that they changed it to, Gustavus Vasa, the African. Right? This is the title of the book. Olaudah Equiano or Gustavus Vasa. Okay, check this book out. Go out and purchase this book. So I already went through and I highlighted a couple passages that I want to go over, because since we've gotten over here, we've been calling ourselves African Americans, when that is two different land masses. We've had no identity. And the one thing that irritates me the most about when we started to walk in this truth, if there's gainsayers and people who say, oh, they're just searching for an identity. That's why they're trying to call themselves the Jews, or that's why they're trying to call themselves Israel. Even though there's archaeological evidence, there's historical evidence, and primarily there's biblical evidence that tells us who we are. Yet they still scoff and they still try to come up against us. Okay? But anyhow, it's not that we're searching for our identity. We found our identity. We know who we are. Okay? This book is one of the books, an historical document that from a man who was taken from the land of Africa and brought over here to this continent and sold as a slave, right? Who writes about the traditions of his people. And so we're going to start right here. This is page 93. It says, some of our offerings are eaten with, in fact, I'm just going to go back to, let's start right here. It says, and when any young animals are killed, sometimes they offer a part of them as a sacrifice. These offerings, when made by one of the heads of a family, serve for the whole. I remember we often had them at my father's and my uncle's, and their families have been present. Some of our offerings are eaten with bitter herbs. What feast does that remind you of? Some of our offerings are eaten with bitter herbs. Sounds like Passover, right? Because we're supposed to eat Passover with bitter herbs. All right, I'm going to jump down. It says, we practice circumcision like the Jews and made offerings and feasts on that occasion in the same manner as they did. Like them also, our children were named from some event, some circumstance, or fancy foreboding at the time of their birth. I was named Olaudah, which in our language signifies vicissitude or fortune also, one favorite, and having a loud voice and well spoken. Okay, so this man was named after an event, or he was given his name because of an event, right? At the time of his birth. We can see that in the text. When they were given names to the 12 tribes of Israel. When they was given names to the sons who became the heads of the 12 tribes of Israel. So the people that this man, Olaudah, came from practiced the same customs as the people of the book. Right? And in fact, I'm going to go ahead And we're gonna get a passage really quick, because I mean we know this, and this is milk, but we go get into it. Let's see. Lock here. All right. So this is Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 68. It says, "And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships." We know Egypt is synonymous with bondage. So he's saying that the Lord is going to bring you back into bondage again with ships. "By the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again, and there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you." Right? So we got Olaudah here, who was sold along with the rest of our forefathers, along with the rest of the people from our nation, that was taken from the west coast of Africa and brought over here on cargo slave ships. This verse says that the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee. It says, "Thou shalt see it no more again." You're not going back home. You're not going back. As a nation, we've never gone back. "And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, slave men, slave women, and no man shall buy you, no man shall redeem you." No man is going to get you up out of the captivity that I'm sending you into. As a nation, we have not gone back. As a nation, we are still being oppressed. As a nation, this captivity that we have been in has never ceased. It's never ended. Right? And so Olaudah, in his book, and again, I'm encouraging you guys to go out and get the book. It's a good read. Right? Get the book. Educate your children. Sometimes even dealing with my daughter asks me sometimes, she had asked me before. She said, "Dad, how do you know?" Well, no, I asked her. I said, "How do you know what you are?" And she says, "Because of your father, because of you. I'm a Jew because you are." And I said, "Okay." And I asked her, "Well, where do you read that at?" And she gives me the verse, but she says, "Well, how do you know?" Right? So then, again, we take them through the scriptures, and this is our first and primary source, but we also have other evidence. Again, we have historical evidence, right? We got archaeological evidence. This book is a historical document from someone that was taken from the land, brought over here, who says that his people, whom he was taken from, have the exact same customs of the people of this book. Right? That curse that we just read fits his people, fits us. So when you're reading this Bible, when you want to, in fact, let me get it, because I don't want to just speak my own words here. So this is Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 46. In fact, I'm going to slide back first. Let's get verse 15. This is Deuteronomy 28 and verse 15. It says, "But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. right? So we're talking about these curses. It says, verse 46, and they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever. So they're going to be upon the children of Israel for a sign and for a wonder, and on their seed forever. So you're always going to be able to know who the children of Israel are, because these curses are a sign, right? How do you know? When you're going into a Walmart, because of that Walmart sign, right? You know you're walking into Walmart and not Target, because you can look up and you can see Walmart on it. You know you're dealing with the children of Israel when you see these curses up on them, right? So we've got all of this historical evidence that shows, along with the curses and the historical evidence that clearly shows you who the biblical Israelites are, because it's a sign and it's a wonder and it's upon thy seed forever, right? So we're gonna drop that. So again, going back to the book written by Olaudah Quaino, right? Get the book, right? Get the book. Definitely read it, because again, that's Negro history. Now you're probably saying, well, why you keep saying Negro? Why you keep saying Negro? All right, I'm going to show you why I keep saying Negro. Another book that you got to get, if you don't already have it, is the Zondervan Compact Dictionary. Zondervan Compact Dictionary. Okay. All right. So this right here, this is the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary. Anybody can get this. Now, make sure you get this one, because now, with everything that's going on, believe me, I just went and looked at a later version, and they're trying to change the wording around in it now. But this book was written by scholars. Scholars took the time to investigate and write this book, right? So the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary. Let's look in this thing. All right, so we're going to look up Ham. All right, you see Ham. It says, the youngest son of Noah, born probably about 96 years before the flood, and one of 8 persons to live through the flood. He became the progenitor of the dark races. So he was the father of the dark races. Okay, not the Negroes. Okay, wait a minute. You got to make that make sense. So Ham is the father of the dark races, but not the Negroes. Now remember, I've been saying, hey, this is Negro history, right? It's not black history, it's Negro history. So Ham is the progenitor, he's the father of the dark races. And then it goes on to, name him, right? He's the father of the dark races, the Egyptians, the Ethiopians, the Libyans, and the Canaanites, right? But not the Negroes. That's one of them things that make you go, Y'all remember the Arsenio Hall show? Back in the days, I know I just dated myself. But, Arsenio had that segment where he said, things that make you go, okay. Well, last time I checked, once we got over here, they had all kind of bywords that they had for us, colored, nigga, Negro, right? African American, but we're dealing with Negro because this is Negro history, right? So Ham is the progenitor. He's the father of the dark races, but not the Negroes. All right, so now let's take a look at something else. All right, because Olaudah done already told us that he was stolen from Africa. Okay, he was stolen from the western part of Africa, him and his sister, and was brought over here as slaves. right? Olaudah told us that the customs of the people of the Bible are the same customs that his family had, that his tribe had. These are things that they practiced, right? Before colonization, before Esau got over there and did what he did, right? They was already practicing this. So we're gonna look at another slide here as we get into this Black history, so-called, right? Salakia, bear with me for a second, Israel. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. Let's get this up. Right. All right. So this right here, it says this is a new and accurate map of what? Of Negro land in the adjacent countries, also a beginning, okay, showing the principal European settlements and distinguishing WCH belong to England, Denmark, and yeah. Key accurate map of Negro land. Now again, the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary said that Ham was the progenitor, he's the father of the dark races, except for the Negroes, right? So now we got this map, and it goes over Negro land. Let's see. Well, look at that. Negro land is right there in the middle of Western Africa. Negro land. Let's see if we can zoom in a little bit more there. What is it? Oh, well, would you look at that? I see Judah there, right? Right over here in the Gold Coast. Not, it don't just say Judah neither, right? It says it's got a this is the kingdom of Judah or Weda, right? Right here in Negro land. So Ham being the progenitor, the father figure of the dark races, except for the Negroes, right? Here we have Negro land. This is where Olaudah was taken as a slave and brought over here to the Americas, right? Now, let's look at something else. So here we got Nigeria's Igbo Jews, lost tribe of Israel. This is a question mark there, but we don't got no question about it. Now, this is CNN, right? This is an article on CNN. This ain't just some fake news article that we done went and dug up or grabbed or took a hold of. This is CNN news, right? Nigeria's Igbo Jews. Let's see what this is talking about. A Shabbat service is underway at the Gihan Hebrew. Okay. Let me see. That's not what I'm. Okay. Here we go. It says the Igbo are one of Nigeria's largest ethnic groups with population estimates ranging from 20 to 50 million. Abor is convinced that the Igbo's ancestors were Jews, the son of Yaakov. we would say his name is Yahweh, right? The son of Yahweh was Gad, and I learned that he was among those people who went out of Israel to exile, Abor says. So from there he had a son called Eri, and a son gave birth to a son called Aguliri, and that's how the Igbo race began. From generation to generation, some Igbo have passed down various versions of a migration story framed around Yahweh, a patriarch of Judaism. A popular version of the narrative holds that Gad, the seventh son of Yahweh, had 3 sons who settled in present-day southeastern Nigeria, which is predominantly inhabited by the Igbo. Those sons of Eri, Arodi, and Arieli, I ain't pronouncing those right, I already know, as mentioned in the book of Genesis, are said to have fathered clans, established kingdoms, and founded towns still in existence in southeastern Nigeria today, including, I'm not even going to try to pronounce it, right? But we see that there are still our people over there. Our people are still over there. So when I say, Negro history, this is the history that I'm talking about. Understanding who we descend from. Understanding that they're still over there and they still know who they are. They still know where they come from. They still know their migration routes. So we gotta stop letting people define who we are. Stop letting these other races, stop letting these other nations define who we are. And just like the book says, it's time for us to wake up. Because now it's high time. Our salvation draws nearer than when we first thought. Right? We are waking up. Our people are waking up every day. Our people are waking up. This awakening is happening throughout the globe, throughout the earth. This awakening is happening. And there's nothing that anybody can do about it. There's nothing that they can't stop it. I don't care how hard they try. I don't care if they try to lock us up or whatever they try to do. This truth is going to go out. And when this gospel has reached, the 4 corners, then the end shall come. Right? Because we know it's not, it can't be the gospel of Christianity. Because that's the largest religion in the world. We already know that's got to be off. Because the scriptures say that narrow is the way, right, that leads to life, and few find it. So it can't be Christianity, because that's the largest religion in the world. Most followers, right? It went 30 minutes. I didn't want to be that long, but hey, Shalom Israel, remember, get these books. Hey, teach your children. We got to teach our children. It ain't nothing more beautiful than to see, an Israelite who's known nothing but our way of life. I wish I could have grown up in this, and I'm trying to, teach my daughters now and get them to love their heritage, love who they are, to be that set apart nation, to not do what the rest of the world is doing. I wish I could have grew up like that. I wish I would have had this knowledge so much sooner, to where I could have raised my daughters up. But you know what? We got bruised walking in this truth that's doing it. That's raising up young kings in this truth that's known nothing but. It's a beautiful thing, Israel. But yo, again with that, you know, Shalom, Soldier Yehuda, Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai Barakatham, Shalom.